Hen & Chicks studio here in Conrad, Iowa. We are ready for our first Take It Home Tuesday at 2. We hope you are ready and happy to join us today as we're coming up with fun, simple, easy projects, not always ones that require sewing, maybe some that don't even require fabric, but things that you can do if maybe after Thanksgiving lunch you want to pass some time, or you just need a quick little fun project to do with your grandkids, or even just yourself. That is what our goal is with this Take It Home Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So for the next 5 weeks, that's counting today, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, we will be coming to you live with some sort of project for you to do quickly. Now today I'm here with Lizzie.
Hello.
And Lizzie, is this your debut basically on camera?
This is my debut on camera.
So
I'm excited.
Lizzie comes and helps us at Hen & Chicks, and we're so excited. She gets to come every day for a couple hours now, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it's awesome. She's a senior at BCLUW High School, and she's just been fabulous help, and she's learning a lot. Because Lizzie, are you a experienced sewer?
I am not an experienced sewer. I've learned a lot.
Yes.
From being here.
So these projects, and so Lizzie and I are showing you today something you can do whether you are an experienced sewer or a very novice, beginning, not even know how to pick up a needle and thread. This is a project you can do. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. We're going to be doing a fabric garland and with fabric tassels. Now these tassels could be used for very many different things. Your creativity is your limit, but we decided, because it's the holidays, we wanted to use some bling bling lights. In my personal opinion, you can never have too many lights. So if you drive by my house, there's probably a lot of lights. In fact, it's the only house on the block with any lights on. But my Christmas lights, are your Christmas lights already turned on outside? I'd be curious to know. I turned mine on last week because I just feel like we all could use a little extra fun little shiny blingy. So we're coming to you now. We will have a web page dedicated to just this project on our website. Before we get started, it will have the step-by-step that you need to take to complete this project. A couple things you need to bear in mind. We are using fat quarters. You may be using fabrics from your stash or a quarter yard. So any cuts that you need, we are taking them from a fat quarter, but you can certainly adjust it to whatever fabric piece that you are using. For our project that, if you can kind of see in front, that we have already done, we used just a regular cotton fat quarter, and it was from our winter wool series, and we just used purples and blue colored, and not necessarily for Christmas, but gosh, I loved how it turned out.
I did too.
And so sweet.
Super
it looked
cute.
Super cute in a girl's room.
Or even a dorm room for college kids next year.
Good idea. So, but today we're actually going to use a batik. Now, two different things to consider. The batik is on both sides, so I won't have a wrong side and a right side, so to speak, of my fabric when I'm tearing my tassels. Whereas, Lizzie, would you hold that for me? I'm going to use a darker one. If I had a darker fabric, the contrast between the front and the back is very great. So those are just things to keep in mind. It certainly looks cute both ways, but today we decided to use the batik fabrics. So the first thing we're going to do, Lizzie has one open. I'm going to get another one open, and of course we decided the festive.
We chose Christmas colors.
And if you've ever torn fabric before or not torn it, you know, or you will learn, that your first tear is going to make it straight, because it doesn't always tear, and you learned this yesterday, Lizzie, right?
Yes.
Sometimes if you cut too close, it'll tear right off the edge, so you don't get a good tear. So our first tear that we're going to do is going to be to make the fabric straight. Now on the batiks as well, we don't need to worry about trimming off that salvage edge because it will tear very nicely. If you are using a regular cotton fabric that has the salvage edge, we strongly recommend that you do trim off that salvage edge before you start. Two reasons. One, a lot of times this is the other end is white, so it would show. And two, it's harder to tear through the salvage edge. Okay, so that's the first thing you would do if you're using cotton. So Lizzie, our first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna pick a side and we're gonna make a slit, and we go probably about 1 inch in, and here's where you get to take out your aggression. It's kind of fun. Ready?
Yep.
Oops, see, and I didn't cut mine wide
I
enough.
didn't either.
So that's exactly what I want you to see. So now we know that we need to go back, cut a little bit more. So satisfying, okay? So there, now we have our straight edge to tear on. Can't you see your little grandkids, if you have grandkids doing this, or even your college kids or high school kids, or Lizzie with your friends? It'd be a fun project to do. So now we're ready to make our first tassel. Again, this is approximately 22 inches because we're using a fat quarter. We are going to now cut 3 slits approximately 1 inch apart. Now, if you want to be super picky, you can be super picky about it, but we're just going to cut them approximately 3 inches apart, and then we're going to tear them. Now, one thing I would make it even easier, you could tear all of them at a time, but if you tear one, keep it between your thumb and your finger. You get to line it up right there at the next one. 2. Doesn't it sound cool when you do it too? And 3. So now we have our 3 strips that we're going to start with to make our tassel. And this is on our tutorial page if you can't follow along or you want to come back and show it to somebody else. So from this strip of 3, we are going to fold it in half, end to end. Now we take our scissors and cut on that fold. So this is an approximate measuring that you might have. These are approximately 11 by 1 by 11 inch strips right now. We're going to take one of those out, and because that's going to be our piece to tie. So if you were using a scrap fabrics, again, it's an approximate. You could make these longer. You could use them over a curtain rod to make them longer. You can make them a little bit more narrow. You can adjust it according to what you want. But we have this all together. So now we have removed 1, so we should have 5 1 by 11 strip pieces. And we're going to actually, in our situation, we're going to put it over the lights right now. We're going to fold it over the light. So we're trying to work together on the same strand.
Can you go next to you?
Well, if we're going to figure out a pattern. See, we don't know. You got to do this. See, you can do yours with kids and your kids. So I'm going to fold it over the light, and then I'm going to take the extra one that I have, and I'm simply coming back and just tying it. You know, I feel like we should have Christmas music playing while we're doing this. We could sing a song. Okay, so now I can sing a song. I have 1 tassel done. Okay, so now Lizzie's going to take hers. Again, she's going to go right over the wire. If you wanted to string these together, and now she's going to wrap it around, in our picture online, in our tutorial page, we actually just used a pencil to tie it around, because you could go back and string yarn through it, or jute, other ideas to hang it on, the wooden bead garland things that are really popular right now. So now you can see how we're starting our cute little project. Let's do one more, okay? So we're going to review what we've said so far so that you can remember, Lizzie's, when you go to teach your friends how to do this. Okay, you've straightened your fabric edge with a tear, and now you're going to come back and you're going to make how many cuts?
3 cuts.
And am I cutting the whole way across the fabric?
No.
Right. And then we get a tear. Ready? 1. We're pretty synchronized. 2. And 3. So now we have our 3 1 by 11 inch strips. You know, you could make this if you did it like this with a really long tassel. That could be super cute too, depending on what your usage is for them. So now we're going to cut them in half. And then the fun thing about this is anybody, even little kids, can have fun tearing strips if they can't tie yet. But think of the coordination, even with your little ones, that you could be gaining when they're tying these around and getting them ready to put on the Christmas tree or whatever. Let's skip to. So we're going to come down here, and Lizzie's going to go first, and she's going to tie. So she wrapped around.
Then take your extra piece that you pulled out and just tie a knot.
So you can see how this starts to develop into something super cute. And yesterday, Lizzie, when we were actually putting the other one together, Lizzie had the idea, and you will actually see it pictured on our website, of how good it would look on the Christmas tree itself. So we did take it and put it on a Christmas tree, and if I can get my fingers out of the way on that one, and that's how we pictured. But it doesn't have to be on the Christmas tree. As you can see, we just put it on the front of our workstation today. But can you see how this will start to develop into a super cute little project? Now, see, that looks happy.
It does.
Lizzie, if you were to pick colors to do it besides Christmas colors, what would be something that you might pick?
I really like our purple and blue ones because those are my two favorite colors.
I didn't even know
So
that.
I really liked that one.
Yeah. You could make it, we talked about in a dorm room, collegiate colors. It's good for people of all ages, sizes, male, female, adds just a little bit of fun. If you were having a celebration for a football game or basketball game, graduations, Lizzie.
You do your high school colors. We could do black and gold for comets.
So all sorts of ideas. So we would like to know what other ideas you guys can use. Would you want to maybe use jute? You could maybe just tie it on jute and hang it. We did have another idea, but super simple. We actually there is something in this bag, a little gift already packaged. We just tied some on the corner of the gift bag. So instead of bows, use your scraps. Make some tassels, hang them on the side of or on the front of a gift box, something like that. And we even, Jamie Carlin even talked about how she made teeny tiny earrings. Now she didn't use fabric strips, but she used little ribbons. So be creative. Take this as far as you can go with it. But I don't know about you, Lizzie. I think, wouldn't it be great if we saw some finished products that people come back and add later, maybe in their comments, in the comment section, or let us know how they took this. Show us where you maybe did some of this. Let us know if you like this idea. Remember, Take It Home Tuesdays at 2. Every Tuesday, now through at least Christmas. If you are liking what you're seeing and us doing that, we can continue on from there even. But we want you to get involved with something fun, simple, but most of all, to be creative. Have a happy Tuesday and happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you before.